Bekezela.
Hi, welcome to Bekezela, a show that aims to eradicate gender-based violence, a show that aims to empower women, and most importantly, a show that aims to intensify the legality of a man laying a hand on a woman. What it looks like we have pretty much to do. Let's go. I will never forget the day I found out that my dad was secretly abusing my mom. Sure, I was 17 years old, and I remember we were watching TV. And as we were watching TV, I heard screams and sounds in the bedroom. It sounded like my mom was crying for her life. And as soon as we heard the sounds, my sister, just tried quietening us down. And instead, she increased the volume. I said, "Why are you increasing the volume? What's going on?" And as soon as that happened, I confidently stood up and I walked to the bedroom. And you have to understand that our father was really strict. He was a traditional Zulu man, and if you understand Zulu men, they are strict by nature. And so I stood up, and this level of bravery just overcame me. And I walked to the bedroom and I banged on the door. I knocked on the door. Ga ga ga. Kwenzakalani lapho? And I've never seen my dad so angry in my entire life. And he opened the door. He was angry. He was wooden. And he said to me for the very first time, "It went a futek." I was shocked. Wow, who is this monster? Who is this man who is so respected in the community? A man who is loved and adored by many people. A man that we also love too so much. And to see him so angry, taking out all his power, all his strength on a powerless, vulnerable woman. And my mom was standing in the background and she was crying, and I refused to let him hit her in our presence. This was the very first time I was finding out that he had been hitting her. And so when I did not want to leave because he kept saying, "Go away, go away." I said, "No, umshayelani." And then my mom walked out of the room and she came and she sat in the living room. And I'm just trying to paint a picture of what happened when I was 17 years old, when I found out for the first time that my dad was hitting my mom. It's happening in so many households where this has become normal. Why is GBV so unacceptably acceptable? And my next question is, why aren't you doing anything about it? I'm sure when I talk about gender-based violence, you can think of a couple, you can think of a family that you know, but what have you done about it? Because we have accepted it. It's something that you know and you immediately think, "Oh, that's none of my business. I shouldn't intervene." Well, maybe you should. Because laying a hand on a woman is assault. And now with the show on Bekezela, I would like the government, I would like the state, I would like the highest authority to intensify the legality of a man laying a hand on a woman, and to see maybe if the horrendous act will continue. So many times we are hearing of women slaughtered and brutally killed like animals, found lying in parks the following day. It's something that has become so normal, yet it's abnormal. And we need to intensify the legality of this action so that men will know that it is absolutely unacceptable to lay your hand on a woman. And that's exactly what this show is about. Each week, we are unpacking gender-based violence, looking at different factors that contribute to this act and possibly trying to figure out why exactly it's happening. And this week, we are addressing appearance. How important is appearance in a relationship? And what happens when a person's appearance starts to change? And so, still going back to the topic of my family, I remember my mom, before she got married, she was absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. And as I started looking at pictures of her in her latter days, her glory, her glow started to shine less and less. And what happened? My dad ended up killing her. And if you are part of the Bekezela generation, well, I've got news for you. You will die. And I really, really do condemn women who advise others to go back to their abusive partners. Why? Just for uklala nengane, staying with the kids. Oh, Bekezela. That's exactly what this show is about. We are saying away with Bekezela. If you Bekezela, uzofa.
I actually have a problem with saying if you begezela, you will die, because that's precisely the mindset we're trying to fix. Why should you die? Why should men kill women? Why do men hurt women? We'll be exploring this notion in each episode. In the meantime, women shouldn't stay in toxic relationships. Save your soul, save your children. Joining us on today's episode is Swaziland-based couple Bake and Nogwanda Dlamini. Pastor Bake is a pastor, marriage therapist, author, and motivational speaker, and Miss Nogwanda is a social worker by profession and a marriage advocate. And they are here to help us understand more about appearance and what happens when a man abuses a woman.
Appearance is important because it's about setting a standard of excellence. The fact that you are married doesn't mean that you stop living. You still need to look good. So it's important. It speaks about how you value yourself as an individual and as a couple. So it's important that even when we're married, we continue to show self-worth.
Appearance, hey, it's very important, hey, because appearance speaks before you can say anything. It tells people how you are feeling. It tells people, you know, how you are, like, even with the person that you're with, the body language, I would assume that is also appearance. The body language also speaks for itself. So the way I interact with him already says something to the next person, you know. So appearance is that important. It's big. The way I look says something about him, because we're talking about relationships, yeah.
Yeah.
The way he looks says something about me, because even when he's out there in public with his shirt wrinkled, people are not gonna say, "Oh, Ubab Dlamini, what's wrong? Why didn't he iron?" They're gonna say, "Where is the wife?"
What happens when your partner starts to change? Who is accountable for the change? Who is at fault if your partner starts losing their glow?
When it comes to the partner's deterioration, when it comes to image, the person that's responsible at first is the person that has a decline when it comes to their appearance. They are responsible. We are responsible for taking care of ourselves. In spite of how life treats us, in spite of how the other person treats us, we are responsible for ourselves. But yes, a partner could be responsible for the other partner. Number one, we need to promote each other. We need to encourage each other to shine, to glow. A partner could be responsible for another partner's loss of, beauty or glow, because there could be instances of abuse at times, where a partner is discouraged from growing or shining, where a partner has their self-esteem destroyed. So it could be two ways. It could be the individual is responsible for themselves, and it can be, if we're honest, at times we can neglect ourselves when we are in a relationship. So that could be that individual has an issue they need to work on themselves.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that it's actually everybody's responsibility in the partnership. Could be the husband, could be the wife. The way somebody else, looks, it needs to bother you. If they're not looking good, it needs to bother you, because at the end of the day, it also comes back to you. It's an oh, that's her wife, that's his wife, or that's his girlfriend, and that's her husband, and they're looking a certain way.
Yeah.
And if you don't like the way they're looking, then it's best that you communicate, so that you are on the same page and you get to understand why that person is actually looking that way or appearing that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's look at a relationship or a marriage where now the communication is broken and trust is broken, where it's not easy to have a conversation with your partner and address that, okay, you're not looking like how I saw you. Maybe let's put it in a context where there's an abusive relationship. The abuser has insecurities and he does not want his partner to look beautiful. And so he tries to put her down so that she doesn't have a sense of awareness. So what happens in a relationship like that, where now the partner, because you are responsible for how you look, but if you are in a toxic relationship, you end up almost, you get brainwashed in the process and you stop paying attention because your partner is telling you that, hey, you're not good enough, hey, you this, hey, you that. So you stop spending time in front of the mirror. So now in that context where it is an abusive relationship, be it physical, be it mental, be it emotional, what happens then when a partner is trapped and their appearance is changing and they really don't know what to do?
Well, that person is slowly dying because you actually die before somebody or you kill yourself just by the deterioration that is going on your image. You're probably not taking care of yourself anymore, even when it comes to health. Then you basically going down and you now, but at the same time, I would say it is a natural way of a cry for help, I would think, because like I said that, even our bodies, they speak before we can say anything. So in a way, it's like just a way for your body to cry out for help. So your family members are now going to see that there's a change. Our sister doesn't necessarily look the way that she used to, you know. Now it will take people that know you, it will take people that care for you, that will now answer to that call and start providing help. Otherwise, on your own, like you were saying, you probably been brainwashed, so you're probably not going to be able to do anything for yourself at that point. Yeah.
Okay, so in that situation, it's an outside community of people who can help you. And so now I have a problem with the community specifically, because when we talk about gender-based violence, I'm sure you can at least think of one family or one couple where the husband is abusing the wife or something like that is happening. Immediately when you talk about the subject, because it's so common, but nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to intervene because you don't want to interfere in a marriage. Everybody knows it. And it's a silent killer. So our sister, our mother, our aunt is no longer looking like how she looked 20 years ago. They are aware. These are the people that you are relying on, even if you don't have the strength to say to them, can you please help me? These are the people who can actually help you. So now, what happens when you are surrounded in a community? Because this is exactly what happens. Neighbors know when there's abuse happening in a family. Relatives know, but everybody's just like, hey, I'm not gonna intervene. Then because nobody wants to intervene.
Let's go back to the person. I always like going back to the person we can't depend on people. The buck stops with us. I think we need to normalize or encourage not tolerating abuse. Number one, we need to create an awareness when it comes to our society on abuse. People need to be aware about the signs of abuse, that abuse is also wrong. Not tolerate abuse. If you're going through it and someone is abusing you emotionally, they are wearing you down, they are tearing you apart, they are removing your self-esteem from you, and they're scraping off the self-esteem that you have. You need to be a conscious being. We need to normalize walking away, number one. Let's stop this thing of saying, love is synonymous to pain. Love is not painful. The moment you feel pain in a relationship, it's not your portion. You have a right to leave, even if it's two weeks into a relationship. Let's normalize walking away. Madness is madness. When you can't be in a situation where someone is scraping off your self-esteem gradually, you need to take care of yourself. Let's promote the message of self-love. That in a relationship, it begins with yourself. You love yourself. Be with someone that loves you. Take care of yourself. Don't let go of yourself. Zinakekele, zithande. But if it seems like now what's taking off the beauty that you have from you is an outside force, it's someone that's abusing you, you deserve to maintain your beauty. And the only way to maintain your beauty is to leave that relationship. It begins with yourself.
Wow, that's well said. Before you leave us, can I just get one comment from each, and then Mfundisi, on your end, can you please tell me why men abuse women? And then Ma, on your side, can you please tell me why women tolerate abuse? Mfundisi, I'll start with you.
Why men abuse women is because, I'll be honest, as men, we still view women as our properties, as our projects. It's enshrined in our culture. You talk about toxic masculinity or patriarchy, it's in our culture. We need to go back to our culture. Culture is good, but culture is not perfect. Where culture has got good elements, let's embrace those good elements. But where there are bad elements, let's remove those bad elements. It's interesting that even the same culture protects women, we'll be honest. When you look at true culture, it protects women. It's only that we are now having culture that is watered down or that is misused. So not to delve much into culture on how it protects women, on where it protects women. Let me just go back to your question so that I don't digress. We have a problem of perceiving women as our properties. That's why when a woman says she wants to leave a relationship, we want to kill that woman and kill ourselves. I won't lie, it's a childish tendency, because we are responsible for our own lives. If someone no longer loves you as a civilized being, you need to be able to say, okay, let it be. And loving someone doesn't mean they have to stay with me. If they no longer want to be with me, loving them means also letting them go to live the life that they want. So we need to speak to our culture. The government, where can the government help? We need to take this education, the gentleman's code, we need to take it to our schools, primary school, preschool. We need to groom the boy child. We need to take it to workplaces, speak to men. Because they want to learn. We always talk about men's conference. There's no men's conference. It's false advertised. If you call a men's conference, they are not coming. I'm a counselor, I'm a therapist. They don't want to come for counseling. You'll only find them at FNB Stadium, Moses Mabida watching soccer, or whether in bars. And that's the challenge that we have. We don't want to learn as men. We don't want to. We see seeking help or getting help as a sign of weakness. We don't want to be told and so we need to go back. We need to go back to the roots and help the men. Unfortunately, the corruption goes back, it goes up to our leaders. Why it can't be confronted is because our leaders are corrupt themselves. They are womenizers, I'm sorry to say. They are womenizers, they are abusers themselves. So when you say, let's correct a certain man in society, no one is ready to correct the same man because all of our hands are dirty. Some of the people that abuse women are pastors, so they'll condemn. We hide things and we are going nowhere. Meaning, I think helping men, I would be wasting time right now. I'm sorry to be honest, I walk on the wrong side of the bed. I would say the only people we can help right now are our sisters to say madness is madness. Don't find yourself in a place of madness. Men, so we 2000. I don't see any change. We're refusing to accept that we are wrong. Quickly, we go to defenses. No, we abuse women. We abuse women because they are talkative. They abuse us. No, if a woman abuses you, you have a right to leave. So we can't condone and tolerate abuse. Right now, we are going nowhere with the dialogue when it comes to the dialogue of abuse because we've gotten to a defense mode. You go to social media, men are defending. Yeah, the reason why she was killed is because she was talkative. And no one talks about women like Uyenene that was killed by the post office guy. Whom had she abused emotionally? What had she done to that man? We rape, we do whatever we want, and we have a problem. Up until we realize we have a problem, nothing will happen. But government has got to step in, churches have got to step in, chiefs have got to step in. If that doesn't happen, we're going nowhere.
It also goes back to what he was talking about. We are also groomed. As girls, we are groomed that we take hardship. Hardship is meant for a woman, according to our culture. Hardship is meant for a woman, and that is where Bekezela comes from. We're supposed to endure.
Yeah.
We're supposed to endure. If it's hard, we are taught that if it's hard, it's going the right way.
The nicer it is.
If it's hard, it's going the right way. And also modeling. We've seen our mothers, we've seen our grandmothers staying under like terrible circumstances, and you wonder why, why does she need to even die, because of somebody that had said they love them at some point. Hey, so when you think about leaving and escaping, you are also thinking, okay, you're going to be called names. You're going back home, you're going to your parental home.
So
you're going to be called, you're a failure. You couldn't handle the heat. You're going to be told that. You couldn't handle the heat, and you're back home to take up space that doesn't belong to you anymore. If in our homes, when you get married, your plate is broken. That's what happens with some cultures. Your plate is broken when you're getting married. What are they telling you? This space no longer, there's no space for you here anymore. So tell me how that woman is gonna feel the one time that she feels like, you know what, I want to leave. Where are you gonna go? To start afresh, because starting afresh is something else. Where are you gonna go? Better if you had your home that you're going to be welcomed in and you start afresh from home. But now they told you, and not besides even telling you, they broke your plate. So you don't belong there anymore. So that's what makes women stay.
A final one that makes women stay, painful one, is that some women are the greatest proponents of patriarchy. Some women will kill you, will murder you to protect patriarchy. Some women will murder you to protect abuse. If a woman speaks against abuse or gets a man locked up in prison, some women would kill that woman for that. They would protect that monster. That's the reality that we have in our communities. We're going nowhere.
Thank you so much to our guests, Pastors Bake and Nogwanda Dlamini. Till next week, Thursday, we'll see you again on Bekezela City. Hi, lo Bekezela.